Hello, everyone. I have Tom Patrick, Kyle Gibson, and Will Walton, and myself, Shane Scott here. We are all four of the original founders of the P.R.O, which is now the Pro Series, and we're having a little podcast here to talk about our finale coming up, or our championship. What's going on, guys?
How's it going, Max?
Not much. How are you doing?
Good, buddy. You all are wonderful people.
So I know in the past we try to have each one of you guys on the podcast, and we've recorded podcasts of all three of you guys, but either audio issues have happened and stuff like that, and we didn't get to post all of them. So real quick, I don't remember which podcast got posted, so let's start with Tom. Introduce who you are, tell me about yourself, and we'll kind of go through the list.
Tom Patrick, current president of the Central Montana Shooting Complex. Been putting on rimfire matches, God, I want to say it's since 2015 or 16. I mirrored everything off of the guys in Utah, the 22 Marksmanship Challenge program. We started with about 6 shooters on a Saturday afternoon. We picked the third Saturday of every month, and I think we pretty much stuck to that to this day with maybe a couple variations. Still, we watch and we see 22 shooting sports as one of the fastest growing sports in our local area and around the state. Why? Because of the cost of ammunition. Part of the whole goal, I guess, behind us building the Pro 406, now Pro Series, is to build the shooting sports and to help grow clubs too. If that makes sense.
Heck yeah.
It does. I agree on that.
That was beautiful, Tom.
He's reading
Thank
off
you,
a
man.
script. Don't let him fool you. Kyle Gibson, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so Kyle Gibson out of Glasgow, Montana. I shot one of Tom's matches and said, you know what, we got to do this in my area. So I got a few grants from our local sportsman's Highline Sportsman's Club. I got the target package and started up roughly 3.5 years ago. This will be our 4th season, starting in June. So yeah, we're excited to be part of the 406, the Pro Series, and we've got about anywhere from 15 to 25 shooters that come every month. We do our matches on the 2nd Saturday of every month, and we've just had a blast doing it. We've got guys coming from all over. We've had them come from Great Falls, Lewistown, over as far as Bismarck, North Dakota. And so, yeah, it's
No,
pretty
you're not going to
amazing
say
how
Billings.
far
It's
people
fine.
come
I
through.
traveled up there, but it's fine. Don't count me. It's fine. It's cool. No, it's
I
fine.
don't like
All the
you.
Billions guys. Wow. Okay. You know what? We're actually this is the podcast of the 3 original people started this, not Kyle. Kyle can leave the call now.
I'm teasing.
Well,
Yeah,
I-
Shane did come up. He's one of the only Billings guys that's ever come up and shot my match, and he had a great time, and we loved having
I
him.
think I've come up 2 times now. I think I've been up twice.
Don't push it. He said one.
I'm pretty sure it's only one.
Do you have any
I thought
idea
it was
how far away
twice.
Glasgow
Was
is?
it once? It may have
I
been
was there
once.
Sunday.
Well, you're in the middle, Tom. Okay, that's really funny you said that though, Kyle. I didn't know you started because you went to a match of Tom's. That's actually interesting because that's how me and Will started. We went to one of Tom's matches and we're like, we got to have this here.
Yep.
So that's
I'm
actually
a
really
bad
interesting.
influence.
Yeah, Tom's like the grandfather or granddaddy over here, just bringing everyone in. Drug dealer here, hooking everyone, giving us a little taste, and then now we're all hooked and smuggling our own stuff back to our own cities. So
That's the honest
thanks,
truth,
Tom.
too.
Yeah, that's how it all started. I mean, how did Tanner start? I mean, did he go?
Tanner
went
came
one
over
of
to
your
Glasgow.
matches. Yeah, so it's all stemmed from you, Tom. Way to go, Tom.
And,
You made addicts out of all of us.
This is a perfect example of it. It's sharing the love of the sport. Sharing, and you guys know, as you came up here, the first match you always shot with me, you didn't pay anything because I told you I'm like a drug dealer. First one's on me. After that, you're on your own. I'm charging you up the butt. But it's promoting the sport. Tanner, because of you, Kyle, because of me, Shane, Will, you came here. If we can continue the growth, now we're at over 100 members of the Pro Series. It's awesome. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, we're growing huge. I think currently, let's see, we're almost at 150 members currently.
That's amazing.
Wow.
150 members, and I think over 319 unique shooters. So we're averaging almost 50% membership, which I'm actually pretty impressed with that. So Okay. Well, sorry. Next person, Will Walton. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Will Walton. I own a European repair shop here in Billings, Montana, and I work quite a bit with Tom's company. We won't name names, but he's also a dealer to me too. And anyhow, I'm also a hunter educator, and I've started writing a series of blog posts. I've got another one to publish here fairly soon. What I mainly saw when I was teaching hunter ed is that there just wasn't any time to really teach one of the most important. I think it's right up there next to gun handling, which is actually shooting. And there was a clear disconnect there that people didn't have a mechanism to practice or become better. And I heard about this NRL thing, and Shane and I had both gone out and bought 22s. I bought the first one. Shane fell in love with it, and he went and bought one. And next thing you know, we were hooked, but we didn't have a thing to do with it. And so we went up and shot one of Tom's matches, and that's, as they say, that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, Tom's match was my low point. It was my first ever match and also my lowest scoring match ever. I went to the match with a unzeroed rifle, which was messed with by a friend who cranked the turrets down the day before, thought it was the cap, not the turret. So I was probably a good, I don't know, 30 MOA off. So yeah, we had no idea where I was shooting all day. It was the most miserable match of my life. Um, I also think I had COVID at that time because
Oh,
that's right when
that
COVID happened.
explains that. Yeah, thanks,
Yep,
man.
yep. I'm pretty sure I had COVID, and me and Will sat in the car the whole way home. I don't know how we both kind of scratched it off, but that was a very interesting time. But yeah, that's how we kind of got started. But so my name's Shane Scott. I am Will's second-hand man, or me and Will are co-directors, whatever you
No,
call
let's
it,
be
at the
honest. You
Billings
kind of
Club.
took this thing over.
Yeah, I'd
I
agree
kind of
with
have.
that, Shane. You're the man,
I
dude.
kind of have. Will's been busy with his work and kids and stuff, so I've stepped in while he's doing other stuff, which I totally understand. So I'm Shane Scott. I am basically one of the guys that runs the Pro Series and yeah, put on the Billings matches. And Tom's kind of a perfect example, or what Tom said was a perfect example, and is very true. This is very addicting. I started this with the CZ455 Diamondback Tactical and didn't know a thing about this sport. And I mean, this has been what, a little over probably almost 2 years now, I would
Going on
say.
2 years.
Yeah, but it was
2
even worse than
years.
that. You started with a primary arms. Let's be
Oh, that's
honest
right.
here.
I did start with
Yeah,
you're right. I had
and
a
you
primary arms second focal plane scope. That is right.
and you're not going to tell anybody
Um,
you're a recovering Californian.
okay. I thought we weren't going to bring this up.
I'm
Every
glad you said it,
podcast
'cause
this
I
gets
was
brought
gonna.
up somehow.
If he didn't, I was
Every
gonna.
podcast. And by now, everyone knows. Like, I just make my handle like just the recovering Californian. 2 years in this sport, and I've got hooked. I have I've shot every club in Montana. I've traveled all over for NRLX matches and met a bunch of people and got hooked in the sport. And now, I mean, trying to be more and more competitive, and I'm finally seeing results. I've swapped to a Bergara B14R. I've changed everything out in the world. I've dove down the rabbit hole and bought a Vortex Razor Gen 3, and now I'm kind of hooked. I mean, this is my kind of my child at this point. This is my sport. This is all I do. So yeah, this is very true, Tom. You've got me hooked, and I am an addict. Hi, my name is Shane. I'm a recovering addict of 22 long rifle shooting. But yeah, so that's about me. But the reason why we have this podcast today is, one, talk about ourselves a little bit, pat yourself on the back a little, but also we're talking about our championship coming up. So originally, when we started this series, it was just 3 clubs in Montana: Kyle, Tom, and Will, Billings, Glasgow, and Lewistown. We then picked up Tanner out of Great Falls. So when we started thinking about a championship this year, we kind of picked a centralized location for Montana, which, what more central location in Montana than Lewistown? I mean, you're pretty much dead center in the middle of
Geological
Glasgow.
center of the state.
Yep, pretty much dead center from Great Falls, Billings, and Glasgow. It's pretty much what, a 2.5 hour, 2 hour dead center, pretty much every direction you go. So
About 3.5 from Glasgow, depending on how fast you're driving.
Yeah.
Kyle can do it about 2.5. Let's just be honest.
Well, and then you got to
Or a
cross the
plane.
border to get into Canada too, so it's like a whole.
Kyle doesn't go across the Canadian border. He just uses a helicopter. All right, he's fine. He just
Right.
airbornes it, takes the plane.
Just send it.
So when we originally started this, Lewistown was the center's point. So, but then mid-season we had kind of some outreach from some people down in South Dakota, and now we have 3 South Dakota clubs and a Wyoming club. So Lewistown is not the central location anymore. So I do apologize to everyone listening who is from South Dakota and Wyoming. Next year we are going to try to do a better job of getting it more central, maybe even. I don't know if we haven't announced it yet, but there is a new club that is joining next season. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but it's Ed Wallert, I think it is Wahlert, Wallert, I think, out of Black Hills, South Dakota. So
Oh,
that
cool.
might be a good option. That's a good central spot. Sheridan or maybe Billings next year, just because it's a hub. So, but so we didn't do this intentionally for everyone listening. We didn't deliberately pick somewhere that wasn't close to South Dakota. Just at the time, it was already picked, so we do apologize for that.
We
But
didn't
it
see
is
the
going to
growth
be.
then.
We did not. Thought honestly we would just be Pro 406 in Montana, but we have grown. So do apologize on that part. But other than that, we will do a better job with it next year and try to make it more central, so you guys don't have to drive as far. But it is still, in my opinion, worth coming out. One, it's going to be a good match, good competition. We're going to have some good food. The trophies for this match, I think, are incredible. I just got them in today and assembled them all. They look awesome. I actually will put it here on the podcast on the screen. I'll have a picture of the trophies. And the price table, our sponsors this year have hooked it up beyond anything I could ever imagined. And our price table, in my opinion, is insane. I mean, I don't know if it's comparable to the NRL or PRS, but I still think this is absolutely anything bigger than anything I ever anticipated. With that being said, we also have 2 guns we're giving away this year, a Rimex build and a Voodoo build, to an adult sportsman of the year and a youth sportsman of the year. And sponsors are both part of that as well. So I think the Rimex build is Rimex Proof, MDT, Vortex, and then Bix and Andy. And then for the youth build, it's a Voodoo, Manners, Timney, Thunder Beast, Bipod, Manners Stock,
Little Jabaro.
and Lil Barrel Athlon Scope. So I mean, 2 just incredible builds. And they will be getting trophies as well. So I mean, just that alone to me to give 2 full custom gun builds to not just the best shooters, but to shooters that deserve it and are good shooters. I mean, this is going to go to basically someone who's in need of a gun, but also shows great sportsmanship, is a good, might not, I wouldn't say the best shooter, but is showing a lot of effort and the drive, and helps a lot in this sport. So we'll be giving those away at the championship match. And yeah, I'm really excited for this championship match. It's going to be in Lewistown, Montana, June 11th. You can check in on Friday, June 10th. But I'm just ecstatic. I mean, I know my girlfriend is too. She's really excited to finally get her guest bedroom cleared out, because right now it's just full of prizes and trophies and everything. So I know she's counting down the days until that room is clean. Sorry, Devin.
Love you,
Yeah,
Devin. Thank you.
I'm just really looking forward to this match. I've been working. All of us have been working hard on it, but I've been working hard on this and really excited for this match. So I'm excited. I think right now we have about 50 people signed up. And yeah, I'm just pumped. I don't know if we have announced this, but Tom Batrick, Lewistown, he is the match director for this. So he's the one putting on the course of fire, and he's the one running this match. So thank you, Tom, for taking on that responsibility.
Thank
It is
you.
no easy task to do that for such a big match as well. Tom is known as the asshole of course of fires, so it may be a little assholey. So just be prepared for that. But so far, I think Tom's done a really good job. So thank you, Tom, for taking on that role.
Thank you.
But yeah. So first thing, I guess, what do we want to start talking about first? I know we said we want to talk about what did you bring up before this, Kyle?
Practice. How's everybody practicing for this? What are you guys doing to get ready for this match? I mean, Shane, you're not shooting. Tom, you're not shooting. But Will and I are shooting.
Yeah, we're doing steroids, as many as we
Yep.
can get.
So
Every
we had a prep
performance
match.
thing
We
that
had a prep match this past Saturday for the match. Dave
Eight
Storfer wrote the yeah. Dave Storfer wrote the match. He asked me, "Is there anything that I should be concerned with?" I went, "Just look at one long range target. How far?" I went, "It's out there." Which I think he did a good job at this match. He has no insight as to anything other than there's going to be one long range stage. But he had just about everything out there. Fun match. I hate the freaking rooftop.
It was a very good match. I shot the match this weekend for everyone listening. It was 8 stages. It was a very good match. It was challenging. I did think he went a little overboard on how big the long range targets were. I don't think we're going to be that generous at the championship match. But
agreed.
But with that being said, yeah, the rooftop did suck. I usually like rooftop stages, but that rooftop was very slippery. I don't know what you did, lube it down, Tom, or what. But that
Spit on
rooftop
it.
was slippery. There was a lot of spit. I was slipping and sliding on that thing.
I heard that from the center fire match as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it
And
needs,
trust
need,
me,
needs
by
some gritty
next
sandpaper.
year, by next year, that rooftop will have shingles on it. I will make sure of that.
Yeah, it had some slippy dippy going on, but it was still a fun stage. But no, it was very good practice. I think in at least in Billings, we are we have at the new club we moved to, Blue Creek. We have a lot of long range, and one of the guys who helps put on our radar course of fire, Trevor Cunningham. We found out that he has a 40 MOA base on his gun, and he cannot zero his gun below 90 something yards.
88.
So
88.
88 yards, sorry. So we found out that's the reason why he's been doing all these long range stages. And we had a 480 yard target, Will? What
It
was the
was,
long
I
range
think
one?
one of them was 425, and then
That was the one recently. The
that
one
was
before
one
that.
recently. Yeah,
There was almost a 500 yard. There was like a 478, I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but the thing about Trevor though is that we're like, hey Trevor,
He's
we're
an
gonna have
asshole.
a match this weekend. And we show up and it's already done. So he
No,
can do whatever he
I
wants.
love Trevor. I love Trevor. But I'm saying that we at Billings have been doing these long range stuff. So I think on the long range end, Billings guys have been practicing that. Where we haven't been practicing is we haven't done a lot of close range stuff in a while. So if there's some close range stuff, I mean, again, not saying close range is super hard, but like the 2 weekends ago, I shot the Sheridan match. They had a Know Your Limits rack. I haven't shot Know Your Limits in 6 months. I struggled so bad on Know Your Limits. I couldn't hit shit. So I definitely saw some weaknesses there. And I know some of the other Billings, because we had a lot of Billings shooters go down to Sheridan, which is one of our new clubs, Cloud Peak Precision. Thank you to the guys for joining. But
who's the foreman out there on that one? I forgot his name.
We don't really know yet. So Aaron Witchman and Larry Luttrell are the two they do a lot of the centerfire stuff down there. They're trying to find a full-time 22 guy. They don't really know who's going to take over the reins right now. I know Dylan was doing it, but I don't know if he wants to continue doing it. So I would say Aaron and Larry, but they're trying to figure out a permanent person. It might be, I think Justin eventually, but I don't know yet. They're still trying to figure out who wants to kind of do it, like take the reins on that. But that was a really fun match. But yeah, I know definitely I struggled with that Know Your Limits. How'd you do on the Know Your Limits, Will?
I actually did pretty well on that one. Where I struggled, and I don't even want to admit it because it'll put ideas into this sadistic man's head. But we had some offhand type stuff, and
oh god,
and a 16-pound pig is not that much fun to.
It's still a 16-pound pig.
Yeah, exactly. So we did a little bit of that. Even Dylan, who I think was the match director for that one, was like, "Yeah, that was fun, but not again." Yeah, like we're not going to do
yeah,
that.
he did offhand, standing, unsupported, kneeling, and unsupported prone, and that stage really hurt. Now, not saying that shouldn't be a thing. What? Sorry.
I was lucky. I had my cheater bar on for my MPA chassis. I've got one of those little widgets that sticks down that you use on barricades, and so I was able to get my hand underneath that, and I got some impacts from the prone position, and I think I pulled off one impact from kneeling position. But it was that I definitely know I need to up my game there. That was not good.
Yeah, not saying that isn't part of the sport, just not that often you see that, but it still is a thing. So yeah, that definitely practicing that, which I know NRL does, do a lot of offhand stuff, or not maybe every month, but they do throw that in their mix. So
Not anymore.
the clubs that they don't do that at all anymore.
Nope, I haven't done that for probably 2 years.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
So is that
that's
maybe
been
just
out of there for a
phasing out of the
while. The
sport?
argument was that that's not considered precision. The match director has the ability to change that if they want to, but there haven't been any offhand, at least in the last year, there was not any offhand at all. There was some
Eh,
unsupported prone, but there was no standing offhand.
I agree
And I
with
can
that.
kind of see that. I mean, I agree, but I mean, it still goes down to the basics. I mean, I'm not going to say we're completely against it, but I can see that point, and I have actually made that argument before too at certain matches. But I think it's more of just the fact that when you have to shoot it, no one wants to, especially how heavy our guns are getting. None of us want to, offhand that. I mean, Trevor is a perfect example. I had a tiebreaker with Trevor and Sheridan 2 months ago, and it was an offhand 100-yard target. Well, Trevor's had wrist surgery. That's why he does this sport, because he can't do some other stuff. So he does this because you don't have to hold a 16 to 20-pound rifle offhand. So for him doing that stage, he said it just killed his wrist. So I can definitely see how that could be not considered precision anymore. I mean, it kind of goes back that stems back from what 22 silhouette was. I mean, I think that's kind of exactly where that transition came from. I mean, silhouette's offhand, and that's kind of the main thing with 22 silhouette offhand. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a big thing. So I can see where that came from, and I can see that argument. Kyle, what have you guys been doing with practicing?
So honestly, shout out to Chris Way. Been shooting a lot of the craft target.
Yep, the craft
Shooting
target.
both.
You.
What's that?
I was saying, yeah, I agree. I've been doing that too.
Yeah, shooting both 50 and 100 yards. When I started shooting that, it was, I was every day, 3.5 to 4 MOA all the time. Finally got down, broke that 1.5 inch mark this last probably 4 months. And just been trying to keep him at that. At 100 yards, I'm right at that 2.5 mark. But that's really done a lot of good for me. And then shooting it under stress too, shooting the 12 shots under time, and then like deploying gear under time, those kind of things, just to get your heart rate up and get you, you know, trying to figure out what your limitations are. That's been a big thing that we've been doing. So yeah, that's been the biggest thing for us, me and my boys anyway. We just shoot in the backyard. Um, and then when I'm at work, I've got a range that's not too far away. If I'm not flying, then I'll go take some time. So 5 days out of 7 this week, I was able to go shoot. So, and then I've been
That's
shooting a lot of air rifle. I put almost 400 rounds of air rifle this week, killed right around 180 pigeons. Um,
holy cow.
and
Jeez, that's
half of that,
genocide.
gentleman, was
That's
offhand.
Nice.
oh, impressive.
So
Impressive.
yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. And I'm actually going to be shooting next year. I'm going to be shooting most of my matches with air rifle. So yeah, we still
I've
do
had
the NRL course of fire at my match, the NRL 22. So there's two reasons behind me shooting that. One, it's definitely the challenge factor. I'm shooting with a 22 FX Impact compact model. Going to be shooting with the slug, so I'm not necessarily following the rules, and I haven't really decided yet. I might stick with pellets, but as a match director, you do have the freedom to allow people to do what they want to do. But that's going to be a lot of fun, and then it'll allow other people to in our group that are part of the NRL 22 to rank up, and they only take the top 3 places in their prizes every month, and then anybody that shot a match gets to be in one prize. So we're hoping to get more people prizes, and that's been pretty cool. My son, he won a Bergara BMP carbon, so BXR. He won a BXR carbon, and my other son won a proof barrel, and I mean we've won all kinds of stuff from those guys. So it's been pretty cool.
Another thing I think we're going to talk about is we're going to change, at least if we're still all good with this, change instead of taking your top 6 scores at your local club, made it to the top 4. Just because this last season was 18 months. Now we're going back to an official 11-month schedule.
Right.
So I think cutting it back down to like 4, take your top 4 at your club instead of your top 6. Just, not everyone can make 6 matches a year. Especially, with all the matches going on in the summertime. I mean, if someone doesn't go, if let's say if a guy doesn't shoot in the winter, and the only time they shoot is spring and summer, well, there's a lot of their matches going on. So I don't think we should punish anyone for that. So, possibly go into 4 matches next year for your local club for your top 4 scores to rank you at your local club, and then we got to do some tweaking on our class system. There's been a couple guys, Mark Pulver, that have ruined some people's scores because of the fact that he shoots so high, which no punishment to him, but he just shoots very well and very good, and it hurts a lot of people's scores. So, there'll be guys who are shooting the 70, 80 percentile, but realistically, if Mark wasn't there, they'd be in the 100 percentile. So it's hard to say. I mean,
basically having a pro master or a pro, a pro master class.
We were thinking maybe like an S,
professional.
like an S tier, or in like an A, B, C. So S, A, B, C. Since S is considered like higher than A when it comes to cars and other ratings. So yeah, I think that's something we're going to look into definitely for next season. And we'll have rules probably by championship match. I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't have rules by then or right after that. For at least the season starts in July, so we'll have them before July. But hopefully by the championship match we'll have all our rules in place. But yeah, I think that's another thing we're going to change. Still going to go off of a percent-based system. We might do a little tweaking where instead of the top guy, first place guy getting 100%, he might get like 110%, and then start the curve off the second place guy. So it goes second place gets 100%, and then everyone curves off of him or her. But I think there's a couple tweaks we got to do. We are also implementing a new table next year. So we're getting rid of the total points table for next year, and we are adding a Pro Series table. Is that what we're going to call it? Have we decided? Pro Series table?
I think so.
Something like that. And that's essentially going to be, we haven't got the rules perfect for that yet, but I think you're going to have to at least shoot. Now, not everyone has to compete in this. You can still do your local points tables and still do that. This is just another points table for, guys who want to travel. But this will basically make it so the minimum requirement is you have to shoot 2 other clubs besides your home club. If we might tweak that a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 other clubs. And we'll take your top 3 to 4 scores, and then the championship score for that season will be worth more. So essentially, 100 points is what each match is worth, and then the championship is worth 200 or something like that. And that will be kind of a cool little sub championship or sub series we do. Are we? I mean, I think it's a go for us, but I wanted to make sure it's a go for you. Are we doing the Hunter series next year, boys? Do you want to do the 2-man Hunter series? I mean, I already have guys lined up who want to host matches all over the place. So are you guys good with that?
I know Glasgow is going to do one.
Clubs.
Tom, you want to do one?
I'm pretty sure that Dave will probably do one.
Okay. I know Eric Miller wants to do one and host one. I know the guys in Sheridan want to host one. So I know a couple guys in South Dakota want to host them. So I think it's safe to say that we're officially going to announce that we will be having a 2-man team Hunter series next year. We were going to have a trial match that ended up getting canceled because of the weather, but I did actually get to run it because I was going to be an RO for it. So I got to run it a couple days before the weather went to shit. And it was a blast. Phil. Phil is anti-competition, and he still comes out when we can get him to come out. But I have never seen someone so hooked to that ever. Like, this guy doesn't even like coming out and shooting that much, And when he came out and shot that 2-man team hunter match with me, he was like hooked, man. He was like, oh my, like he wanted to go home and redo his whole gun. He wanted to buy new gear. He wanted to get a pack. Like he was hooked, man. Like just what I got back from him. I mean, like if this guy who doesn't really like shooting sports that much wants to do this more, then I know there's going to be a big draw for this. So I think we are officially going to announce that there is going to be a 2-man team hunter series next year. You're going to have to sign up with a partner that is your partner for the year. Unless there needs to be an alter change for some reason, we might can look into that. But you're only gonna have to shoot at least how the rules, how I've kind of looked over with them so far. You're only have to shoot 2 matches a year, and there'll be some stuff basically. I don't know if we'll do our own championship for that or how that's gonna work, but rules.
So this is going to be more like X style competition, right? Where it's just special venue.
No, NRL X is anything over 200 yards. This is going to be more 2-man team hunter, where it's blind stages, and well, it depends on which venue. Every venue can do their own stuff, but everything the only rule is it has to be blind and it has to be 2-man team. I know, like Eric.
But what I'm saying is that each club will probably only host 1 or 2 a year.
Yes. Probably there won't be a monthly thing. It'll be like I'll probably host one. I know Trevor wants to host one. Tom will host one. Kyle will host one. Sheridan will host one. I mean, there'll probably be maybe 7, which is still a lot. But I mean, we're not gonna have like we're not gonna be hosting multiple, like every month there's gonna be one. So, but yeah, that's something I'm excited to hopefully announce if we get the rules finalized here shortly. But it was a blast. I had such a good time doing it. Like I'm already hooked on it. I want to shoot it more. Maybe I won't host a match. Maybe Trevor can just host a match, and I just want to shoot it, man. That was such a good time just shooting it. Maybe not post one, but I'll definitely shoot one. So that was a blast. So, but
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we got a little off topic there. Where do we start back here? Let's go over sponsors. Let me open up my list here, boys. Hold on here. So as of now,
do we have that much time left on the podcast?
There is a lot of
It's
them.
pretty amazing how many people are stepping up to help this out. It is spectacular.
So
just a harebrained
And if we
idea
get to
between
that,
4 of us here.
Please know that. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Just a harebrained idea that the 4 of us had, and we thought last year was pretty phenomenal with the sponsors that stepped up then. And this year, and I tell everybody this, I take nothing away from Shane. I know you guys have helped too. I don't know how the hell Shane has done this, but yeah, and Devin is stuck with him through this.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'd agree. This is Shane. Props go to Shane for all of this. That's one of the reasons that this has been successful for sure.
If we forget any of the sponsors when we're sitting here, I just want them to know that we appreciate it. It's just an oversight on our part if we fail to mention.
Yes, I do want to say that
Pro406.com.
I am trying to keep the list up to date on the website, but we get so many new sponsors by the day that I don't have the list constantly updated on the website. So keep in mind, I do apologize for any sponsors I do miss, but I will try to go through them here as fast as possible. We will be starting to post them as well. We've already posted some, but we're going to start posting them for the couple of the weeks leading up here to the championship. So to really quick go through the list, just let me pull it up and make sure. All right, here we go. A&J Sports, AccuTac, AccuShot, AEM Precision, American Rifle, Anarchy Outdoors, Applied Ballistics, Arkin, Athlon, Atlas Targets, Bergara, which is also BPI Outdoors, thank you guys, Brink Excursions, Bullet Central, Capstone, Coltac, Crosstac, Defiance, DM Targets. Thank you guys as well at DM Targets for making the trophies as well. Trophies look amazing. They also gave us stuff for the prize table as well. So thank you guys. You guys are amazing. EGW, Element Optics, Euro Optics, Foundation Stocks, Gray Ops, Hawk and Precision, Kestrel, L3I, Leopold, Lilja, Manners, Maven Scopes, MDT, MK Machining, Montana Optic Company, MyMedic, NPS, which is NetFed Precision Shooting, Oryx Chassis, Proof, Range Tactical Gear, Rimex, Right in the Rain, Righton Optics, Rocker Rocker C Optics, Schillen Barrels, Shooting Target 7, Short Action Precision, SK, Stone Glacier, Thunderbeast, Timney Triggers, US Optics, Valkortzen, Vortex, Voodoo, Weebad, XLR, Yautech, and ZCO. On top of that, we have some local sponsors. We have Axeman Farm and Ranch, Rock Creek Coffee Roasters, Diamond Automotive, and I have one more. Oh god, Tom, how do you say that guy's photography place?
Howling Cat Photography.
There you go, Howling Cat Photography. Sorry. So that is the list. If I forgot any, I do apologize. I'm pretty sure it's pretty up to date. I mean,
About Northern Technology.
sorry, what?
Northern Elevation Technology.
He is said, yeah. I'll say yes, but I'm pretty sure when I asked him if he was going to sponsor, he said he wouldn't sponsor the Pro Series, but sponsor the Billings Club. So I don't know,
Oh, gotcha.
but we'll see. He said he was getting something together, so I don't know what that's going to. But yeah, that is kind of the gist of it. I think that's everyone. Again, if I forgot, I apologize. I do have a binder here next to me, and I have a room full of prizes, so I can kind of remember some of the prizes off the top of my head, but a lot of the certs are right next to me, so those are easier to read off. But I'll go ahead and read some of them off. Excuse my stuffy nose. I'm getting over being a little sick here. Yeah, Tom, as soon as I left your match, I came home and then my fever was 101 degrees, and I was super sick. So I don't know about your matches and me being sick, but appreciate it.
You weren't well before you took ill.
So ZCO gave us $1,000 off an optic. Schillen gave us a free barrel. American Rifle Company gave us a free scope mount cert. MDT gave us 50% off an ACC chassis. Wrighton gave us a 50% off cert for any of their optics. $250 to Anarchy Outdoors. $150 to Anarchy Outdoors. 2 Weebad 50% off certs. 5 50% off 22 takedown certs from Thunderbeast. 2 free takedown suppressors from Thunderbeast. 22 takedown, sorry. 50% off proof steel barrel. A free carbon fiber proof barrel. 1, 2, 3 lot tests by Lapua. 1 brick of SK ammo cert from SK. 1 brick of Center X from Lapua. Hawkins 50% off any of their scope rings. Another Hawkins 50% off scope rings. 30% off an XLR chassis. 1, 2, 3 $300 Accutech certs for Accutech bipods. $2 $400 off Zermadarm actions. 50% off a US Optics Foundation series, which is their high-end series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Vortex 30% off MAP certs. 2 $250 Valkortzen certs. A $50 off A&J and a $25 off A&J. 50% off a Oryx chassis. 5 $50 EGW certs. $250 to Montana Optics. Hold on here. $250 to Range Cart Tactical. Pretty sure I said them. Hopefully I said them on the list. I'm pretty sure I did. But Range Tactical Gear gave us $250 to one of their range carts. 3 $100 certs to Accu. Oh, I always get them mixed up. To AccuShot, and they are also giving us doing the AccuShot card challenge at the match, so that'll be one of the free bonus stages. I think that is it for now on certs. For prizes, there is a bunch of bags. There's like 5 bags from Weebad. Coltac and Crosstac gave us a bunch of bags and mats. I mean, there's a lot of those. There's a Leopold Mark V. There's a Mark V tripod kit that'll be on a bonus stage. There's an Arkin scope. There's a US Optic scope. There is an Element scope. I know there's another scope in there too, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Maybe.
No. There's some binos from Leopold. There's some binos from Athlon. There's sunglasses from Leopold. There's gear from MDT. There's arm data card center or data armbands and data cards and mag blocks from Yautech, and there's a full 2-day hunting pack from Stone Glacier. There's targets from Atlas. I think I said those guys. Atlas targets. Um, but yeah, so I'm pretty sure I have. I mean, there's ton. My other guest bedroom is just full of stuff. I mean, I'm trying to just to picture what all is in there. Um, Everyone's getting a Leopold hat. Okay, Leopold hooked up with swag beyond belief, so everyone's getting a Leopold hat. I don't care if you like Leopold or not. You're getting one, and they're cool hats. So deal with it. There's stickers, swag. I mean, everyone's getting a goodie bag. God, I'm trying to remember what else is on the table now. I've seen it 100 times.
We got some challenge coins and some patches from Voodoo.
Voodoo gave us a bunch of merch. There's some stuff from Gray Ops, like a plate, one of those. There's mini tack plates, whatever you call it. They gave us some ammo holders. They came out with. They hold 2 things of ammo that close. Pretty cool. There's just a bunch of stuff, guys. I mean, I'm sorry I can't lay them all off, but there's a lot of stuff on
The
the table.
bottom line is that most of the people are going to be walking away with something.
Oh, everyone. There would
Everybody's
be
going,
every single
yeah.
person at the match is walking away with at least something. And if I'm not mistaken, it's getting close to almost everyone will get 2 things. If it's at 50 right now, last time I counted, I think there was like close to 60 certs and 60 prizes.
Well,
So, I mean, people won't be walking away. I mean, we are hooking up the ROs with some stuff too.
that's what I was going to
But,
say. The ROs that are coming are getting something. But the other thing
Yep,
I think
the
is really
ROs
cool
get some
too
stuff.
is that, like, you know, some of the prizes, I'm not going to say which ones, but some of the prizes, the manufacturer specifically said, give this to someone who needs it. It's not supposed to be on the prize table. It's the ROs and the match director are just going to look at people that are, you know, that are excited about the sport, that want to see it grow, that are excited
Good
to
ambassadors.
participate, have good sportsmanlike conduct. You know, they're going to walk away with some cool stuff.
And I'll actually go ahead and say who that was. That was Kestrel who did that. They're giving away a what is it?
An Elite 5700.
I have one. They're giving us a Kestrel 5700 Elite. And they actually said they don't want it on the prize table. They want us to go give it to a shooter they think that deserves it. So I have been going to, I mean, I haven't met any of the South Dakota guys yet. So, but I have been tasked with that decision. I have looked at all the shooters so far. I have a couple people I have in mind. I'm gonna probably put them in a hat. I haven't met the South Dakota guys that are coming, so not gonna count them out. But I'm gonna probably get to know them at the match as well. But I'm gonna put some names in a hat and I'll pull it and randomize it. And I think that it's gonna be someone deserving, but it's gonna be. I have a select shooters that I've met across all these clubs that I think are very deserving of it, and they're really hard to choose from all of them. So instead of just picking one, I think it's just going to put all those names in a hat and pull it because I think it's going to be too hard just to pick it. And 2, if I just pick one person, I don't have the heart to say I didn't pick this other person. So leaving it to luck at that point after I pick the people I think that deserve it, then at that point it's a random draw at that point so they can't be mad at me for not winning it. So, but I think there's a good amount of people. I think I'm like at 8 or 9 people right now that I've think that deserve it. So that's going to be hard. And then for the youth rifle and adult sportsman of the year, those are going to be decided by all the match directors and the ROs. So each match director has been assigned a task of picking one adult shooter and one youth shooter. And then the ROs are going to write down a couple names that they see at the match. And then we'll add them up. And then if there's a tie, then we'll pull a random drawing off of that, or a random off of the people who are tied, or flip a coin if it's 2 people or whatever. But yeah, so it's our match directors have been tasked with finding shooters they think that deserve it and are good sportsmen and sportswomen. And those are going to be 2 also being selected by the match directors. So that's going to be another really cool giveaway as well.
Definitely.
Anything else, boys, that we want to say?
I'm just excited. I think it's really cool to see. I mean, if you look at how many matches went on in the state of I'm just going to say Montana, because if you include South Dakota and North Dakota and Wyoming, I mean, I know of at least 5 matches that were going on last weekend alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And 2 years ago, there wasn't any. There just weren't. and you've got center fire and you've got rim fire now happening at least once a month in 4 different locations in the state.
And you can
with,
almost
with
pick a
us,
weekend to go shoot somewhere.
Yeah.
that is actually a perfect example because with with the WPR starting up and with us starting up, there is literally a match in a reasonable amount of distance. Maybe under 4 hours, um, from anyone in Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota. I mean, there what WPR had like 3 center fire matches on the same weekend or 4.
I think there's 4.
There was I think there was 2 22 matches, maybe 3 22 matches as well. I think South Dakota had 2 and Tom had his match. So I mean, there's matches every single weekend in the north, and there wasn't before. And I think that is something incredible. I mean, just looking back from 3 years ago when we started this, not saying that South Dakota wasn't already doing this, but just in Montana alone, I mean, the only people who held matches for 22s was Kyle, Tom, and me and Will. And it was, once, it'd basically be once a month between the 3 clubs, so 3 matches a month. But I mean, before that, I mean, there really wasn't much. I mean, Kyle, you've only been doing this for how many years now?
This will be, like I said, the start of year 4. So
So 4. So I mean, this is ours, 2 years. So it's just crazy how fast this has blown up. I
Well,
personally,
then a big part of that, we have to give credit to the people that have stepped up other than us.
oh yeah, the
Other
shooters.
than the 4 of us. I mean, like, this doesn't grow without
Yep.
everybody's involvement. And, even if you've just come out to a match and shot it, thank you.
Exactly. You're a part of this, and you're to be honest, you're the reason why it's growing. I mean, yes, a match director can put on a match and not take anything away from the match director, but it's the shooters that grow the sport. I mean, we give we host the match as the match directors, but the shooter's the one that tells their friends and gets their friends involved and wants to shoot and gets that, and gets hooked and starts to shoot more. So I mean, yes, thank you to the shooters. You guys have grown this crazy. I know for me,
This is literally all for you guys.
I know for me alone, I mean, this month I've driven to Sheridan, shot a match. Then I went to Lewistown. No, sorry. I went from Sheridan, Gray Falls, Lewistown, and I'll be shooting Billings. So, I mean, 4 matches in a month. And this is just blown up. There wasn't this before, and now it's just blown up like crazy. I can hit a match every single weekend. So, when my center fire rifle gets here from Defiance, baby, I'll be not swapping, but you'll see me at some center fire matches. I'll have to get into loading, and that's a whole different rabbit hole. But yeah, this sport, at least up here, I feel like we have grown this to kind of match what the other guys are doing, everywhere else in the country, where you can go travel every weekend and hit a match, and you couldn't do that, 4 or 5 years ago in Montana, and I feel like now you can. You can do 22 any weekend you want or centerfire any weekend you want. So, thank you to the shooters and thank you to the Pro Series and thank you to the WPR. I mean, I feel like we've brought shooting, long range precision shooting kind of back, or I don't know if back, but brought it to Montana and Wyoming and South Dakota, and it's blowing up. So,
Yep. Hopefully, as we've talked about this before, hopefully we can see some growth in the western part of the state. Ours have all been pretty much right down the middle of the state. Glasgow, Great Falls, Lewistown, Billings, and we're jumping into Wyoming and going over the east side of the state into South Dakota. But we haven't seen any growth. I'd love to see some growth. We had one shooter 2 months ago, not this last month, but the previous month, come in from Livingston area. I think you shoot some of the Billings matches as well. I'd love to see some growth over there, because for us, Bozeman, it's an hour and 45 or 2 hours and 2.5 hours away. It's
Yeah.
I'd love to see it grow that way, but one day at a time.
We definitely need to penetrate the other side of the Rockies.
Yep. But hey, for what we've grown and how we've grown in this past 3 years has just been phenomenal. 3 years being nothing going on, just hosting matches as individuals, till last year we started throwing together the Pro 406. And at the end of that, going, holy crap, this is growing bigger than we thought. Now we got the Pro Series. It's cool seeing each club's identity. One of the cool things I also think is the logos that you guys come up with. Shane, if you did them, awesome. For each one of the clubs.
nope, I did the original ones, but after that, no. Hold on, I'm sorry, my throat is very scratchy all of a sudden. But no, the guy's name is Travis Stout. He's out of South Dakota. He actually shoots our matches as well. But here, you guys keep talking. He's the one who does the logos. He's done a phenomenal job. I need to get some water. 1 second.
Yep.
You guys keep talking. But yeah, he does a great job with the logo.
Yeah, the logos are just phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, I love all of our logos. But once Fort Pierre came out in South Dakota, I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, that kicks butt. Then Sheridan comes out, it's like, well, that's kind of freaking cool. Mitchell, love the blues with the NPS on it. James River, I'm like, that's cool. With the green in there, I was like, well, now mine just looks blue. Huh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, mine's yellow. I got to make something
Yeah.
else.
and
Hey, it's cool. We're the original gangsters.
Right.
It's fine. It's kind of like being in a biker gang. Like we're the foundation club.
Well,
Exactly.
Tanner already traded on us. Do you guys see Tanner change his logo?
yep,
Yeah,
his
his
is
is
all
sweet.
red now. It looks good.
Yep. I just changed ours yesterday. I haven't posted it yet, but still kept it the mountains and everything. I modernized it a little bit, made it a little crisper, poppier. I'm gonna do the same thing with Lewistown and Glasgow. Same exact logo, just make the lettering pop with the white outline and stuff like that.
So I'm thinking about
But,
dropping the mountains out of the Lewistown one and put the state of Montana with crosshairs right on the center of the state because, well, that's where
Whatever
Lewistown is.
you want done,
Yeah.
let me know. I'll send it to Travis. He'll change it for you.
Yep. But everybody that's at this table right now, thank you for all that you've put towards this table to making all these matches happen. If it wasn't for you guys getting the shooters involved, encouraging those shooters to continue to come back, I never would have done it after my first match. If everybody said this would have sucked, I'm never coming back again, I would have walked away. But everybody, I had like a half dozen people show up, and this is cool. We doing it again next month? Okay. And it just continued to grow to where we're at now, and it still continues to grow.
Yeah, one thing I've
Yeah.
told some match directors, and a good one to say is Tanner. When Tanner's matches first started, he only didn't get that many people. And last time I was up there, I want to say there was probably over 15 people, and he was ecstatic. He was just like, look how many people we got now. I'm like, just the more matches you put on, the more people hear about it, the more it's going to grow, man. And, his little.
Same thing happened with us in Billings.
Yeah.
We had 6 people sitting around a table eating lunch. And then now we're basically filling the clubhouse out at Blue Creek.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we're averaging
yeah.
around, probably say around 20 shooters typically.
Typically, but we've had some matches where it's been close to 30.
Yeah.
Our first series championship in Billings,
32.
I want to say we had 60.
No. We had the championship. We only had like 35, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. So that was quite a few too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the most I've ever had
But-
is like 31. And that was at our championship 2 years ago. And it snowed.
Yeah. And this year we're expecting probably right now we're at 50. I wouldn't be surprised if we got 55, 60 in the next couple of weeks.
Raining?
I mean, it's gonna be very interesting to see how much this grows. So I'm very impressed and I'm very happy with everyone. And I'm glad us 4 came to at the beginning and started this. I still remember me driving out to Will's house to try to get on a phone call with you guys and talk through what the rules are going to be and what our name was going to be. And, things grown really fast in the last, year and a half, 2 years. So
Pretty cool.
thank you guys for all your work. So,
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah.
before we end this, I did want to get one thing. We just hit the hour mark. I want predictions, boys. Who do you guys think's going to win this year? Who's going to win the traveling trophy?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because, yeah, I know there's going to be some stout shooters from every club coming. There's the heavy
Yeah.
hitters are definitely going to be present. So I don't know. I think it could be a toss up. It could be anybody's game.
Could quite
I
possibly
think-
be.
I think it's going to be pretty interesting this year.
Yeah, we've definitely got some shooters and that's what's really cool about the scoring system, just to talk about that real quick. I would be curious, Shane, to know how many shooters advanced in the year from class to class.
I have that number if you want.
Because I mean, just in my club, when we started the year, I think we only had 3 A-class shooters. Now I think we're up to like 5 or 6.
Were you asking us how many people have bumped up this year?
Well, I mean, if you look at how many people went from just jump to class
25.
from my club or all of them?
Your club,
Oh,
1, 2,
all
3,
all
4,
all
5,
clubs
6,
combined,
7, 8
25.
in your club, Will, or not Will, but Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle, I see only 4 for Kyle. I could be wrong.
Well, improved class.
Oh, you're counting people not his members. You're counting
Correct.
like double dip in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4 guys at your club, but that keep in mind with that being said, that is only people at your club, Kyle, that are members.
Right.
There is more people who shot your club that I still have their scores that have classed up.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's actually a lot of people who have classed up, but just counting members alone this year, out of, I know we're at over 100 something now, but I would say a good number, about 25% of the shooters classed up.
Pretty cool. And I think that's
It's really cool to
that's
see.
part of it that keeps everybody coming is they're seeing improvement in their shooting. They're seeing the ability to get better and to do more,
It's a different version of kind of like the
Well, and
craft.
without a doubt, I think that
Yeah.
sorry. But yeah, I think honestly, the reason that people come back is that I don't think they're under any illusions that you're going to win. We have that real big problem at our club. Mark. Anyway, like you're probably not going to walk with a trophy that day, but like I've changed my bar. When I show up, as long as I either improve or figure out where I'm weak or do whatever, and I think that's where a lot of shooters are starting to see. Like they come out, they get humbled, because you think you're really good, and then you get humbled, and then you come out, and then you start performing. Like now you have a bar, and I think that that's become a lot of what draws shooters to the sport is not necessarily am I going to win. And this is why I like the traveling trophy aspect of what we do, is that it doesn't matter if I win, I just need to perform. And if I perform well enough, that might get us that extra point that we need.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't have to have the very best day out there, but I need to show up and have a solid day, and I think that that's one of the things that was really missing in the marksmanship culture throughout the state, to be quite frank with you. I don't know how many times I'd have a conversation with somebody and they'd say something like, oh yeah, well, I'm a really good shooter, and I'd be like, show up to a match, show me, like,
humble me.
Yeah, let's
humble
see.
me.
Yeah, come on, show up. Let's see how good you are.
With open sights.
And then you had a lot of people. Yeah, exactly. And then you'd see these folks walk away scratching their head. But what was funny is that they'd be back the next month.
Yep.
And we'd watch that growth as they went along. And it's more about passing the knowledge of what we're seeing than anything else. Like, I don't think that there is a club out there that hasn't grown the knowledge base of shooting exponentially just by osmosis, just by other people's brushing up against it, and me and Nick Lyle have been talking a lot about this lately, and it's kind of a hive mind type culture. I love it when I'm in a squad and we all just kind of start working together, and, you start kind of ripping on what you're going to do, and you watch everybody get better around you. It may not be that first stage, but it's going to be that second stage, third stage, fourth stage, and just having that positivity as you move along. And I think that that's one of the better focuses that we have, and it's certainly a lot of fun to see the growth, and that's what I'm there for.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really cool part of what we're doing this year, the championship match. You actually don't get to pick your squad this year, so we're just gonna squad everyone based off of 1, your class, and 2, kind of where your average score is at for this year, and then kind of put you in classes based off of that, or not classes, sorry, groups. So you're gonna be out of your comfort zone a little bit because you're not gonna be with your buddies. But 1, you're gonna meet new people, and 2, you still need to work together, right? I mean, you can all be against each other if you want, but if you work together and still try to figure out a stage, you're all just going to help each other become better shooters. So that's one thing I really like about this year we're doing with the championship match. But back to the question I originally asked, who's going to win this year? I mean, I'm Billings. I mean, come on, we're going to take it home, boys. We took it home last year. We were 2-time champions. All right, that's all I'm saying. We're taking it home. You guys can say whatever you want. I'm ready. I know my boys got it.
I was hoping for somebody to throw out a non-political answer.
Oh, I'll pull that non-political answer all day.
Shane, if you beat me, I'll give you $5.
Ooh, $5.
Well, listen, I'm not even shooting the match, but
Oh,
hold
dang,
on.
you're not.
We are. Hold on. Let's increase it to $10 and a firm handshake,
On one of the challenge stages.
and we'll see how my I'm gonna be proofing the match the day before.
Trying to.
Maybe I'll add up my score on that, and we'll compare it to yours and see how it goes, Kyle.
That sounds
See
good.
how it goes.
As long as somebody else is running the
I'll lay
tablet.
out some.
No, I'll do my own scores. Okay, my own scores. We'll increase it to $5,000. Okay.
All right, I'll even throw this out here for you right now. So anybody that wants to take me up on this bet, I will give a free brake job away to anybody that takes me up on the bet. I'm gonna bet that the Glasgow shooters are probably gonna be in the number 2. I'd say I'm gonna go number 2. I'm gonna go South Dakota. I'm betting they're gonna be.
You're talking
In
about
the
you gotta be
top
shooter, or
specific.
you're talking about the club in general.
Yeah. So all right, let's go by class. How about that?
Okay.
Class A shooters. I think Billings is going to pull Class A. I think Glasgow is going to pull Class B, and Lewistown's going to pull
We don't
Class
have
C.
no Class C shooters.
Well, I'll tell you right there, you're wrong, because there's only one Class C shooter signed up. So.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's only
one.
one.
Well, darn it. Anyway. All right. Well, never mind. You guys come on.
Bold picks. I mean, I'm going to be cocky and say Billings going to take it all, but realistically, I think it's going to be really tough. I think there's some very good shooters at each club. I think Lewistown's got some pretty dang good shooters. Unfortunately, I think one of their good shooters is Levi isn't even going to be there, which
It's
sucks.
going to be in Florida.
Yep. I told him there might be ways to get flights canceled, but that might not be legal.
The ATF will be at your door with the FBI.
Yep, I'm not saying anything at this current time, sir. Government, if you're listening, I am an angel. But there's some good shooters in Lewistown. There is some killer shooters up in Great Falls. Tanner and Nicholas Gebhardt. Nicholas Gebhardt's son is phenomenal shooters. You got Kyle and Wayne and Darcy and JJ. Well, I guess JJ won't be there, but Jason. I mean, there's some great shooters up in Glasgow. There's some killer shooters in South Dakota, but I don't think a lot of them are coming because, again, it is a long distance. I think there's only a few coming right now. Hopefully more sign up, but we'll see. And then there's a good shooters in Billings. I mean, I'm probably the best, but but there's some good shooters in Billings.
Just because you go shoot all the matches and you get all the points doesn't.
Hey, who's leading the total points table? Okay, that's all I got to say.
That's right.
Hey, I'm going to
just
throw
saying,
this out
like,
there.
hey.
If you add up all the Gibson shooting, I think we will have the highest culmination of points.
Yeah, there's like 3 of you.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah. Who do we got coming up from Wyoming?
Right now, I think there's only one. I think it's going to be Aaron. We are talking with them. We might be some more of them might be coming up, but right now only one, Aaron. So Aaron Wichman, and he's a hell of a shot too. So the only thing that's unfortunate with that is to qualify for the traveling trophy, you've had to shoot 4 matches for your club. So they are not eligible to represent a club this year, so they're independent. And then the same thing with most of the South Dakota clubs. I think Mitchell or MPS or Mitchell, and then SCH out of Fort Pierre can represent, but barely. Shooters would have to shoot all the matches eligible. I know Huron was impossible for them because they only hosted 3 matches, but since they joined, and that was the end of the season. So next year would be a really true test of the South Dakota and Wyoming shooters coming in and being eligible for the traveling trophy. But for this year, it looks like it's just going to be mostly the Montana clubs being able for the traveling trophy. And we do have 2 traveling trophies now. So we have the Pro Series traveling trophy that can go to any of the clubs. And then we still are keeping the Pro 406 traveling trophy because, well, frankly, the big trophy that we made has literally Pro 406 branded on the back of it. So we really can't change that. So that's just going to be a Pro 406 traveling trophy.
If the Wyoming series and the North Dakota series and the South Dakota series want to do their own, they can.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know that
eligible, but
that gives a lot of great interstate camaraderie.
Absolutely.
Yes. If they want to do a state traveling trophy, they may.
Yeah.
But there still will be a Pro Series Traveling Trophy that can go to any state. But we are going to keep the Pro 406 Traveling Trophy in state just because of the fact that it has Pro 406 on its back. I mean, we can't.
And it's a bronze.
It's bronze.
Yeah,
it's a big bronze trophy. I mean, yeah, and literally right as we got it done. I mean, isn't that right when the first South Dakota club joined too? So it's kind of like
That's awesome.
yeah,
Well,
bad
there went that
timing on
idea.
Hey guys, I gotta get off.
Yep.
So I'll talk to you guys later.
That's perfect.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you,
Take care,
sir.
Kyle.
Yep,
You
you
guys
can
have a
do.
good one, Kyle.
We'll see you.
But
Thanks, guys.
see ya.
You
But
bet.
I think that ends it right there, guys. Thank you to Kyle for hopping in here, and thank you for Will, as well, and Tom. Tom is the match director again for the championship match, so thank you for him putting that all on. I think match is gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm luckily, or I will be hopefully able to proof it before. I mean, we will be able to proof it 100%, but I don't know if I'll be able to. I don't know what we're gonna do with ROs, if we're gonna have an RO match or not yet, but we will at least be able to shoot it before one of us to proof it. But other than that, I am really looking forward to the championship match. Thank you, Tom, for putting it on, and I guess Will's already out of here. But Tom, any last words?
It's going to be fun, challenging stages. Got them all written, 10 stages. Going to be a blast. Come shoot.
Should we tell them about the target, the stage where you have to do a couple burpees and oh no, we won't talk about that, right?
Nope.
That one.
Jumping jacks.
Oh, sit-ups, couple sit-ups, push-ups.
Yep.
There's at least a quarter-mile sprint you have to do before one stage. So
Yeah. There will be a 5-ton army truck out there.
Yep. Big. What's her name? Not Bertha.
Sarah Bell.
It's, Sarah Bell.
Yep.
Sarah Bell will be out there.
We're going to have a mover. I'm not sure which group I'm getting it from. I'm leaving that kind of open right now. But there is going to be a mover. It's going to be some fun stages. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll have a hunter stage
Yep.
and just some other stages, and there'll be some targets that some shooters never shot before. And yeah, it should be a really fun match. I'm really looking forward to it. I think you've done a good job so far. We're near the course of fire. I think it's gonna be a good match. It's a challenging match, skilled match. So yeah, thank you, Tom. And I know everyone else left, but thank you to all of them, and thank you to all the sponsors again, and thank you for all the shooters. And we'll see you guys June 11th.
Yep. Again, Shane, thank you. You're a rock star on getting all these sponsors together. Without the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to put anything on the prize table. Without the shooters, we wouldn't make this happen. Have a great night. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Tom. You guys have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.